Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It is your boy, the SMT. News from T-Mobile. Specifically, the president of technology, Neville Ray, offered some insight and some teasers on what the company's network is going to look and feel like in the very near future, pretty much telling us what to expect in 2021. The T-Mobile network master, if you will, offered some details at the Oppenheimer 5G Summit today. I guess we'll call this kind of like a 2021 network preview of sorts. The first thing that Neville offered was insight on how they were going to improve the network through carrier aggregation. Specifically, he cited the configuration in which we could potentially see a low-band 5G NR connection combined with a mid-band 5G connection. So we know that this is going to be their N71 600 megahertz low-band 5G combining with their N41 2.5 gigahertz mid-band 5G. And we could see this as soon as Q1 2021. The rollout will probably be staggered based on his predictions and the approach. He said this really could kind of sort of be up to the OEMs. What he means by this is these are the manufacturers of the devices. So, it's really up to the chipsets, and it's really up to the manufacturers of the phones and which chipsets they decide to use. So I do expect, like the Samsung Galaxy S21, and any of these flagship devices to be able to do it from the Qualcomm side. I know that the Dimensity 1000 from MediaTek is able to do this as well. So that's a story we're going to follow, obviously. I want to see that come to fruition. I do want to, kind of like what Neville was saying there, kind of at the mercy of the manufacturers. We'll have to see how that plays out. But for the most part, I think the Qualcomm manufactured Snapdragon, flagship chipsets, they'll be holding up quite nicely for this. So we'll be tracking that most definitely, because that's going to offer great bandwidth potential when you're combining, multiple types of 5G. So we're super excited about that. The second piece he discussed was the voice over NR. This would be the 5G solution for, replacing essentially, well, not replacing, but the next generation of voice over LTE. All right. He was a little bit more bullish about this, actually. Specifically, the availability and the exact quarter that it would become available, commercially. He said it is going to be easier than voice over LTE to develop and implement, but he does sound a little bit unsure about the time frame, so I wouldn't necessarily hold your breath if you're waiting for voice over NR. He definitely says it's coming, and he said you can expect it, but he didn't have the emphasis on it. So I think he's kind of a little bit standoffish about the voice over NR piece. Maybe expect that later in the year, and probably not going to see it, grand scale. It might even be market to market, who knows. But for the most part, T-Mobile's voice over LTE has always been a little bit, it's always left a little bit to be desired. It's never really been that great. Hopefully they stick the landing on voice over NR and it becomes like a calling card of what they do well with their network, because the voice over LTE, in my opinion, sound quality, has never been a strong suit of the T-Mobile network. I always felt like other carriers seem to do it better, and especially, I always really liked Verizon's voice quality. If that's something that maybe, T-Mobile could really make a focus and really take advantage of that, it could become something that they could leverage as having the best of, if maybe they kind of lead the way in that network technology or in the marketplace. Maybe they become the first to do it and it becomes their thing. We'll have to wait and see. Third piece was the ongoing network upgrades. So he discussed the 600 megahertz low band. He discussed the 2.5 gigahertz mid band. Continued to claim that 1,000 sites per week are receiving upgrades of some sort, some form of work, be it modernizations, added carriers, or 5G upgrades. He was quoted as saying, we were going to get 100 million people of 2.5 gigahertz 5G by the end of the year, and we're going to get that to 200 million by the end of the year 2021. These are just some of the claims by Neville. He also said that average speeds for N41 around 300 megabits per second right now, and they'll be closer to 400 megabits per second by year's end. I could tell you right now in my testing in the CLE, it's definitely under 300 megabits per second. It's probably closer to like 225 to 250 megabits per second. There's some underlying issues in the way that the network is configured. There's definitely something that's wrong. It looks like it could be a backhaul issue. That really seems to be what I think it is. I'm not sure how much more spectrum is going to really make it better at this point. I think the backhaul fiber upgrades while they are expensive, he may be trying to avoid it, for as long as possible. Maybe they'll be addressing it in the near future, who knows? But, it's going to be an underlying factor for them, possibly 2022, because they haven't really mentioned it, right? They haven't really talked about it. But, N41 is capped in potential as long as this is going to continue to be, one of those shortcomings. I think 600 megahertz channels, which is what we're seeing now for most people. I guess some people are seeing 80 megahertz of the 2.5 gigahertz. If you're going to boost it to 80 or 100 megahertz, maybe you see a 10 to 20% increase over the current 250 to 300 megabit per second average. It's just not very efficient. I know that with true backhaul upgrades to the fiber optics, it could potentially double the speeds. The problem is that's very expensive. T-Mobile doesn't own or operate its own fiber backhaul, right? So they have to pay for those upgrades out of pocket at a premium pricing, to those internet providers or to those fiber providers. So I just want to take a look at some of these statements in this, and I just want to disclose I'm excited about the carrier aggregation piece. I'm excited because that's really what the merger was about. I'm excited about voice over NR, even though Neville seemed a little bit bullish on this. If the fiber backhaul upgrades happen, I think the N41 is going to be tremendous, but it's a huge factor that plays into this. It's a very expensive upgrade. We'll have to see, if that becomes something that comes to fruition. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Go ahead and voice your opinions. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. That just about does it for this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to give this video a like and share it to all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, consider becoming a subscriber if you'd like more from the SMT, and activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload and you'll be the first to know when something does hit the YouTubes. Also, we've got items in the description box. We've got a Discord server. The @SneedTech Twitter handle is there, and there's ways to donate and support SMT creation. That pretty much does it for today. Thank you so much for being here again. Hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next video. Peace.